Okay, I was trying to like go fast. Well, I've already failed to do that. But let's focus on what's important. I'm going to stop the share before she croons again and say hello, Chet Sellers. I hate to jump into your God-given time slot. However, some of us are playing USTA tennis at 2 p.m. like appallingly close to O'Hare Airport. Some of the snobs at my high school, in my high school class, used to call it the LBO, Land Beyond O'Hare. But it's not quite beyond, but let's focus on what's important. Thank you, Chet Sellers, for the raid. I saw that you had been going for a couple hours, and I know that your brand is two crosswords in about an hour every Saturday and Sunday morning. So I didn't feel as though I was like stepping on your toes. But thanks for the raid, Chet. I enjoyed meeting you in person. Look at all of these raiders. Appreciate you all. Having made the move from, the Bay Area to Los Angeles, back to the Bay Area, out to Las Vegas, and now here. Hello, wow, look at all of these great people. I mean, Chet Sellers, yeah, crosswords and tennis. I call that the biathlon. What's up, Norris Sharp? Bactry and Bish, one lump or two. Thank you, Nora. I sent you something this morning. You may or may not have seen it. I hope you enjoy that. I can't even pronounce the name of everybody, the names of all the raiders here. Must cosplay though. Thunder Bunny, I see some familiar names. Appreciate you all. Okay, so what are we doing here today? We are catching up a little bit with the American Crossword Puzzle Tournament. And by which I mean specifically, a bunch of people at the tournament had like New York Times and other crosswords in the last couple of weeks. And what's more, I mean, Kareem Ayas had the Monday New Yorker. I love a hard puzzle. We'll take a look at that. And there actually is a neat handout. You know what? I don't know how many of you guys are going to vanish. We mostly do crosswords here and only connect games, and trivia and anecdotes and typos, but mostly puzzles. There was a really neat handout. We could start with that. My attempt to speed solve the Tuesday New York Times was like, let's face it, a disaster. Like 2.5 minutes, I was like maybe halfway through. That is not a great look. I don't know how many of you know Francis Heaney, who is one of the absolute OG, brilliant crossword constructors and editors. Like I put Francis at the extreme top of the range. Francis is an editor at AVCX and maybe elsewhere. I think he works for them, but also works, I think, maybe primarily for a book publisher. In fact, he and I discussed the idea of doing a cryptogram book together. But he had such a cool handout this year. Amid the many crosswords available for grabbing in Stamford at the Marriott Hotel, was a handout called Murdoku. It was a murder-themed deductive detective Sudoku game. Such a cool concept. There was an easy side and a hard side, and I've solved them both. The easy side was doable. The hard side was really tough. Like, took me over an hour. I think it's a little bit too high octane for the stream, but we could throw the easier one on here. You guys might enjoy it. And I think they published a book of these things if you want to check that out. Throw a link in the chat, murdoku.com. Let's not lose sight of what's important, though. Chet Sellers' crew, did you do New York Times material? I saw you were solving a puzzle by a friend when I strolled through there a second ago. Oh yeah, let's shout out Chet Sellers. Follow Chet Sellers on Twitch. I mean, let's face it, the guy's good. And funny to boot. And a top rookie at the crossword tournament. Nora Sharp, my pleasure. Hope you enjoy. Okay. I'll tell you what, let's finish this New York Times. I'm partway through. I've essentially proven my point, which is that I suck. But let's just put this thing to bed, and then I'll let you decide. Elections still happen, some places where the majority rules. What a concept. Let's go back to, I think this was this Tuesday. Yeah, let's bear with me. Share this. Oh my God, the clock is going. My skills, I mean, to call them skills is a joke, but my Twitch skills, my screen sharing skills are very shaky. But that's my brand. All right, let's land this plane and then on we go. Oh, Count Chocula, one of the best counts. We had a count joke in the cryptogrammers. This is hashes it out, something like that. I got all the tea, y'all. Subaru, it's a constellation of sorts. Did you know that the Audi logo, A-E-I-O-U, what is this? I'm just not understanding this theme like at all. Which anecdote have finished telling? The Count Chocula one, I already forgot the other one. Wow. Not my best work. All right, anyway, we're almost done with this thing. What is going on here? I don't think a watering drought is going to get this job done here. No. This, 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 that. It's like this and like that. I don't. Has Neil Long been replaced by another watering troughs? Completely not getting this theme. Everybody who did this on Tuesday is like rolling their eyes sadly at my failed attempt to see what the hell is going on here. Let's try this. This. All right. Sorry, Chad. If I hadn't started this puzzle, I wouldn't. I just want to finish it. There's something here's wrong. Oh, duh. What's that? In what way is this past tense? Sir, I'm not seeing it. Man, this feels like a Friday. Lately I've been like snatched. Oh, that's a noun. That's just embarrassing. Oh, it's A-E-I-O-U in order. Duh. Okay. This all right, just about done now. Now, okay, what still don't have the answer, but what's new with you? You. What's new with 7 down? I knew that was that, and it didn't work, and yet. Okay, wow, I've killed the chat so horribly. But hey, what's up, a big Willie D? Did you enjoy your experience judging at the crossword tournament? I enjoyed mine, and I enjoyed having you in the mix. Speaking of the game Clue, the murder solving game, we might be about to do that here in HD. Wow. Wow, 6 minutes for a Tuesday. Good night. Not what I had in mind, but that's okay. It was the friends we made along. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all your choice. Do you want to see a Kareem Ayas Monday? By the way, let's not fail to give credit where it's due. This is a very good theme. I'm just like, I don't know, the raid and the preoccupation with not being late for tennis, but I love an excuse. What's new with you? Hashes it out. Apple, iCloud, and watering troughs all have AEIU in order. That's very good. They're all what we call super vocalics. But the ones with the vowels in order, like abstemious and facetious, those are more rare. So good work, Mark Deal. And I started with Mark's puzzle. I like to start with a Monday here, but Mark was at the crossword tournament a few times during my many visits. I've had a weird arc through the American Crossword Puzzle Tournament. And by the way, if you missed it, you can, I don't know about playing it live, that ship has sailed. However, you can get the puzzles at crosswordtournament.com. And if you want to see where you would have stacked up in the ocean of people, time yourself and score yourself, and there you go. You can do that. Mark Deal, all right. I met Mark years ago. My first crossword tournament was in 2009, because I'm one of you and us kids. I went 4 times. That was like high school. I took a gap decade, as kids do. And that was only in Brooklyn. The tournament had moved to Brooklyn because of the wordplay movie having attracted people like me to even know about it and attend it. But by the time I got back on the train, it had moved to Stamford, Connecticut. So you might say that was college, because I went there the last 4 years. But it wasn't Stanford, it was Stamford, Connecticut. And now I guess we all just graduated, because it's moving on to Philly. It is time for grad school, y'all. Tournament is moving to Philly next year. It'll be easier for everybody to get in who wants to. They turned hundreds of people away this year. It's just gotten insanely popular. What with I think the New York Times puzzles and games ecosystem probably has a lot to do with that. And of course, this Twitch stream, we have, usually 600,000 or 800,000 lurkers. And Chris Hemsworth, Joe Biden, welcome, hardcore fans. Okay, chat box, your choice. Do you want to move on to a hard crossword, which is Kareem Ayas's New Yorker from Monday recently? Kareem was at the tournament. I kept running into that guy and Chet Sellers. What a good crossword maker. Carolyn Davies Lynch had Friday, April 3rd. I didn't know Carolyn, or don't particularly, but I nodded hello to her, I think, at the tournament at some point. Or we can do this murder Sudoku, if that interests anyone. A lot of choices today. Michael Lieberman has the Sundays today. He and I have made certain of the same mistakes in life, law school, but not a mistake. But Michael is still in the law practice. Brilliant guy, appellate attorney, and more relevantly, a great crossword maker. Themed on a Monday in the New Yorker. That is unusual. I'll take a look. Yeah, I usually don't do the puzzle on the day of, but everyone else does who streams. I don't see why not to. I figure, let people do it if they're going to do it, but they can always bounce from the old stream. And the week before, the Sunday before, was Sam Donaldson. No, not the newsman, the crossword maker. Yeah, let's do Kareem's puzzle. I am a fan just of that guy. What a good guy. I don't know him well, but I really enjoyed my chats with Kareem. Let's do this. So the New Yorker drops its hard material on Monday, unlike most publications. But hey, that's their thing. LeBron Swanson, good morning to you. We saw Akron in a crossword the other day, and the vibe was like tires and LeBron. That's pretty much what they're about. Yeah, he's had a bunch lately. Nesberg, good morning. Trying to keep up with the chat. The monologue gets in the way. Let me roll this thing up for a hot minute. I hope I didn't miss too much. But we're going to try to keep moving today. I am playing USTA mixed doubles for my 8.0 team. This probably be the last one for the season. And that's it. And I'm kind of curious because as your matches play out, your rating goes up and down. I've been on an upward trend lately, as opposed to Connections League, where we have been in a free fall. Sid's grants. Oh my God, this is truly a college of Cardinals. All these great people here. What's up, Sid? We are going to bang out Sid. Kareem Ayas. He was at the tournament. Sid was a fellow official of mine at the tournament, and I got to say, Sid and Sam Mazursky were putting out fires all over the place. I mean, most dramatically, when the clock didn't work, the countdown clock, that was probably trauma for everybody downstairs. Anyway, Sid and Sam did a hell of a job with that. And AJ Jacobs, Sam has not been on this stream, but AJ Jacobs, author AJ Jacobs, who has been here, he has played Only Connect here once or twice. He did a hell of a job. If somebody has a link handy, maybe throw that into the chat if you don't mind, or I'll dig it up. Maybe throw it on a future stream. AJ and Greg Pliska did a live episode of their podcast, Hello Puzzlers, and Sam was a featured guest. They broke it down, all the behind the scenes stuff about the spelling bee. That was really interesting. All the stuff everybody wants to know, and very efficient doing it with, microphones. I work with Sam pretty closely because he's my editor at the New York Times. So we are throwing material around every couple of weeks, and he also sends out the proof sheet for upcoming weeks. Also, obviously, an excellent crossword editor. Oh, you know what? Let's unshare the screen. Chet Sellers, who's in the chat, streamed right after the tournament, maybe the day after. And his stream was a very efficient and quick and thorough summary of everything he went through as a rookie, getting to the tournament and his successful ride to rookie honors and actually onto a finals stage. So that was amazing. I, however, in my trademark fashion, bounced around randomly, and I don't remember what anecdotes I told and what I didn't. But I'll tell one just because Sam Mazursky's name just came up. So Sam wrote the Sunday crossword in the tournament. Sam and Joel Faliano, Christina Iverson, I think Tracy Bennett. Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. Apologies to whoever I'm forgetting. Anyway, Will Shorts' various crossword editors that he wore. Robin. Well, yeah, Rob. No, I'm talking about the permanent We're gonna call it, no, Sid, you're all over it. I'm talking specifically about the fact that the various crossword editors who work for and with Will Shortz all have had tournament puzzles recently. Well, this year it was Sam who did, and he wrote the Sunday morning grid. And much like in your newspaper, the Sunday morning grid is large. It was like a 21x. Sam wrote a great puzzle, and I usually do this with puzzle 5, the super hard one, and with the A clues, the super hard clues for the finals puzzle. I like to quickly solve these things. So I've got them done, and then I move on. Like during puzzle 5 during the tournament, everyone suffers in communal despair, which is a 15. Sid, Nora, get on it. And they do the best they can to solve this super hard puzzle. Many people don't finish it. Some people don't even really make a dent in it. Well, that was me. My first crossword tournament, I think I put down like 30 letters in that thing. But, I've learned a thing or two since then. And now, although despite what you just saw on that like train wreck of a Tuesday we just did here, so I sit at the front of the room now every year, and I quickly solve puzzle 5. And then I get up and do my actual judge job at the tournament, where I am an official / volunteer and collect the papers of people who are finishing. So I did that with puzzle 5. It went fine. It was tough, but Robin Weintraub, who we all thought was nice, turns out she was hiding, a very sinister demon this whole time. But no, her puzzle 5 was awesome. She did a great job. Robin, also one of my like ride or die puzzle pals. And Ben Zimmer and I like twisted her arm, and she joined the National Puzzlers League and joined us in Montreal, and then from there. Sorry, Robin, not my job to talk about the details of your life, but I think at a minimum, everybody knows that you're like the queen of Fridays. We're getting way off the topic here. All right, so I'm sitting at the front of the room. Sunday morning, I decided to do Sam's puzzle because, just because I figured I could go fast enough that I would sort of outpace the crowd a little bit, and then I could collect the papers. That's exactly what happened. So I'm sitting on the floor in front of the room, as are several of my fellow judges. And at one point, and it was a great puzzle, of course, very, very tidy, good theme, well executed. So at one point, I'm like solving, and somebody like steps into the light, in a typical hotel ballroom, they're like overhead, like spotlight shining down. And they didn't know they were doing it. Like their back was to me. They were just kind of sort of milling around, as I tend to do, waiting for people to finish. So I'm like, get out of my light, sir or madam. Don't you know I'm trying to solve Sam Mazurski's puzzle? And I look up, it is Sam Mazurski. I mean, Sam, you didn't give me enough trouble with your tricky crossword that you got to like darken my grid. That was funny. Okay, where were we? We were at Kareem Ayas's puzzle. See, Chet Sellers tells, 5 anecdotes in 3 minutes, and I tell 1 anecdote in 4 hours. So, ratioed again. All right, let's knock this thing out. Let's say we're on a yellow light basis, meaning it's not a red light where I solve alone. It's not a green light where it's a free-for-all and you all go nuts like in squares.io, but it's a yellow light. Any puzzle or any clue that I've like seen or talked about or shown at least and not solved, go nuts. You guys solve along with me. Just don't jump ahead to someplace we haven't seen yet so we can all go at the same pace. All right, let's turn on the clock. Kareem, go easy on me. It's Sunday morning. Got to save my energy for ye old tennis match. I'm sure you'll all be there. You can fight over who's going to be, chair umpire. The rest of y'all, ball kids, commentators, we need it all here. No idea what this is. Eagle constellation. Well, somebody here is probably typing it already. Is it Subaru? We just saw Subaru constellation. Oh, I didn't share I'll stop the clock. I didn't share the miscellaneous trivia that just came to mind. Audi, the automaker Audi, we saw the Subaru logo. Audi is 4 circles because it is, there were 4 automakers that came together to form one company. And I think Audi might have been one of the 4. Anyway, that happened. And then the constellation one, what was, oh, Count Chocula. So we had a recent little gag cryptogram in the newspaper. It was, who's your favorite vampire? The one on Sesame Street. He doesn't count. He certainly does. Hilarious. If you didn't enjoy that joke or trivia, how about this one, or this one, or this one? Enjoy or not, as you prefer. Okay, back to the crossword. Quit distracting me, chat. Crossword time. All right, this is Well, you got Pleiades and Pilates. I don't think that's going to get the job done. And Pleiades is 8 letters. Anyway, Equinox definitely gets the job done. Don't know that. Oh, I don't know. Bial. I don't think Olay is going to get the job done. Is this heated? It ain't Aquarius. I'm trying to think of like for a raptor, what's the word in Latin? No, I don't have it. Who am I missing in the chat? Sid, your anecdote. We played celebrity. Oh my God, Sid, that was so much fun. Oh, that's right, Sid. Oh my God, I was falling asleep at that point. Sid, your outfit. OMG, your outfit. If you have a photo, email it to me and I'll throw it on the stream. So great. Sid had what can only be described as, or what can at least be described among other things as like insanely great pajama slash leisure suit. Sid, I don't even know what that was. It was incredible. And Sid had like autographs from all these like crossword stars. I am certainly not one. He lowered himself and let me sign it. And they like signed funny things or like they put their type of like puzzle in there. It was truly crazy. Really enjoyed that. Sid, everybody loves Sid. I mean, the guy, do I even need to say it? SidsGrids.com for all of your crossword needs. I mean, not just Sid specific crossword. Oop, typing answers into the chat. That is not going to do that. Wow. Connecting to chat. Yikes. My browser dying. This one better not. All right, this one's working. Jesus, I don't know what is happening. Bear with me, y'all. Sorry. Let's go back to Twitch. Here, I've got it on my phone. No big deal. All right. Kareem, not getting your due as I yammer about like late night games in the hotel lobby. That Peter Gordon celebrity game is so much fun. He had it going as an app on everyone's phones in Brooklyn like years ago, and then it died somehow. And then, is this a Cobb salad? Quite possibly. And then I guess they're bringing it back now. I have a thought on this, and I think it's this. If this is Cobb salad, that would be that. A skeleton walks into a bar and he says, "Give me a beer and a mop." I forget if that was a cryptogram. It definitely should be. This arranged marriage. Who here arranges a marriage? Who here is from a land where arranged marriages are a thing? Age old. Yeah, Nora Sharp. Well, you know what you can do is a Jeremy H. I won't say his full name. I'm in favor. Estes Park, Colorado is spelled with an, you think it's spelled with an E? You're so naive. Jeremy, I think, like sleeps through the Sunday morning crossword. He slept through an Only Connect game here. He wasn't even asleep. He just like had it in his calendar and was ready to play and then like didn't show up. That was like crazy. Thunder Bunny, you're a Jeremy? Are you the Jeremy I'm talking about? All right, yes, no. If you put it in the reverse order, it's Noise Street, Evanston, Illinois. That's a good clue, Kareem. I don't mean to give your puzzle short shrift, but all right, is there a theme thing happening here? A playful bite from a puppy, I guess, would be a nip. What is with this? Is this like some sort of a corn pone theme that I'm not gathering? Something weird's going on there. Cobb salad, cassava root. I love how you're so politely letting me solve. Labor saving is what comes to my mind. Don't have it. Used to be Chicago, what we will always call here the easiest tower is Elon. Let's make that the only definition of. Is this like one, like minus one, clearly not. I don't get this. Maybe with one or two more theme matches, we'll figure out what the hell is going on here. This is carobs for you chocolate allergic people out there. Devalue, y'all. This, I have no idea what this is. Utterly no idea. Let's go back to all the stuff I couldn't figure out earlier. This puzzle has two Pascos. Well, you know, we love Paulo Pasco here. He is one of the absolute OG greats of the new next gen, or of all gens. That Paulo, a many time only Connect player here. We've talked about it forever, and so it's getting old for me to just like yammer about it for it never to happen. But Paulo and our friend Gavin Burns want to do a stream here, like a speed test stream. Is it Rita Ora? No, it is an hour of a day. Gavin Burns and Paulo have this, like, I hope they're kidding, hateful arch rivalry. I don't get that. And they want to do a speed test here, a skills test, and once and for all decide who is the absolute world champion. The problem is that in any crosswordy context, I mean, essentially nobody beats Paulo. You know, if Paulo had been in the final stage, that would have been super interesting. If like Paulo and Eric were both finalists. I mean, as staggering as Eric was, Paulo has been similarly. Why is this meta? Somebody in the chat is probably already typing why. I'm not seeing it. Hover board, hover craft. All right, so is that this? Okay. Gavin Burns, yes, the guy is hilarious. He turns out to be a super crossword speed solver, also like a good only connect player. And more importantly, like a really good guy. Gavin was writing only connect vowel answers for miscellaneous people in the crowd for a little like bonus only connect solving opportunity. Like he had Inglorious Ben Bastards, he had all these like movie titles. The guy's very funny. And so when he and Paulo come on here, they are going to, oh, meta. Okay, yeah, meta carpal is your hand, metatarsal your feet. I remember that, the only thing I learned in high school. Then it turns out I had them switched. And so it turns out, I don't even know if I went to high school. Anyway, so yeah, Gavin, and to slow Paulo down and bring him into the realm of, you know, human ability level, these guys were talking about taking elaborate steps. Like, for example, they wanted to build a crossword solving tool into a Guitar Hero guitar and like a Dance Dance Revolution like footpad thing. So Paulo would have to like play guitar and jump around solving a crossword while Gavin merely like solved the crossword. So that would be instantly the best stream we've ever done here. But so far it's just been a lot of talk. We got to actually get this thing going, and I hope we will. Like, I'm thinking maybe like in June after my busy work season calms down. This would be that hover car. Are these things hovering over a car? Wait, so this appears 3 times. So I assume this is one of the hover cars. I'm not seeing how these letters around here can be a car. Don't tell me, I tell you what. Let's put a red light on the on the fun part here, the funnest part here. Yeah, exactly. Chet, you got it. You're onto something. Is that Sid, well done. Does sleep deprivation count for, you know, like, does each like maybe each hour you lose of sleep counts as like a drink? Maybe. I don't know. Is this exert? No, it's an exurb. Nora Sharp, why did you try to tell me it was exert? All right, so this is, I don't know, Rihanna. It's, I mean, is it pandemic related? I don't think it's both times. I don't see that. Something weird is happening here, and I am among those who have no clue what's going on. King of pop music. Well, it ain't the late great felon Michael Jackson. So, oh, I don't know. The husband of Queen Latifah. That was an Onion like deadhead fake headline. I spent a hot minute writing for the Onion, and we used to write those like fake headlines. And one of them was King Latifah returns for his bride. That's a good one. This would be that, plural. This would be clearly that, and clearly flop era, Sela Ward. Her name backwards is Draw Ales, speaking of drinking. And we did close that bar on Thursday night. Nora Sharp, you were there. Carol King, sorry, Carol, you are not foremost in my mind. Thursday night, there weren't too many people at the crossword tournament. We go. This looks like, I mean, are we talking about that? In which case, I hope I don't have that wrong, but be born again. Is that beryllium? This be born again. I'm just not seeing something. All right. I'm starting to feel as though these might work together. Oh, is this a, no, I was gonna say this is a plain cone. It isn't. All right, I gotta get even more answers in here. A star, is that Spanish? I speak French, y'all. And I didn't mean that pretentiously. I just do. Is this rare for the second crossword in a row? I mean, Sellers? Is this Chet Sellers in the chat? Chet Sellers? You see BASS more than you see Sellers. The problem is, I don't know if that's right. Starting to feel like it though. Although that R would kind of fit in both. Let's try this, and oh no, all of a sudden it's this and this and otters. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Well, that was, oop, there's another one. Okay, we'll get back to this in a hot second. Franklin Roosevelt is the only three-time winner of Time Magazine's Person of the Year, or Man of the Year, as it was called back in those days. And we made a cryptogram out of that. And Will Schwartz did not want Franklin D. Roosevelt. He didn't want the period in there, which to my mind, since the puzzle started with the name, I was like, well, clearly it's not a sentence. It just is like an interesting looking punctuation. And you know, it'll give people like another angle at, you know, seeing maybe there's a proper name. Will still didn't like it. He said, yeah, let's go with Franklin Roosevelt. I was like, nobody calls him that. So we compromised with Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Why did I put Denali in there? Oh, I don't know. Because I'm dumb. All right, this is this. Make gaunt. Meshi. 8 more put together. Neater. It's not nattier. Use these things to bet. This. Find. Oh, Chet. Control F is find. Chet. Oh man, I wanted you in there so badly, but wondering. Senders. Oh man, in my heart, this is still Sellers. I don't know why I that Sellers. Senders. Senders clearly better answers. All right, non-pro is con. All right, it's time to figure out what the hell's going on here. And Kareem, how dare you put a theme puzzle in the New Yorker on a Monday? All right, let's figure out what's going on here. All right, so this thing was about the theme. Futuristic vehicle that can be found 3 times in this puzzle. Hover car. I feel like if this hovered over these squares to get to this, that would be a hover car, and yet not so much. All right, so we have pal, pone. Have we seen all 3 of these hyphens? 38. Oh, there's one. Oh yeah, here. Pone, Nate, pal. Nate Carden, props to you. Enjoyed seeing Nate Carden in the crowd. The crossword tournament. Tragically, I'm going to finish this grid and still not Equus and still not know what the hell's going on here. Line to a boiler, presumably that. Is this that? You know, like my fellow kids. Nora, so true. Yeah, Nate was there. Nate, you're in the puzzle. You know, a year before, Nate I think this is public info because it was a like Patreon or GoFundMe. Nate lost his residence. Nate and his partner and their baby lost their residence in the horrific fire in LA. I think they were like in, maybe they were in Altadena. And so I rocked the old tip jar, and I'm delighted that so many people did. And um, I didn't, I only saw Nate like when he was the beauty part of being the judge, and Nate is just one of many examples. Chet Seller's another one at one point, although I did get to talk to Chet. Um, when everyone's trapped in their seats and they're not swirling around you, like you might gradually circulate around the hotel, and there might be somebody who's like your antipode who's like circling around in other places. You never like get within 40 feet of each other, or maybe you have your backs to each other. Well, when everyone's trapped in their seats in the ballroom, that's when you can like at least look people in the face and say hi, particularly if you like hit different rows at different times. And at one point, and I think he was kind of sitting where he was last year, kind of in the back middle, I was like, "What's up, Nate?" And as I passed by, so we had a deep heart to heart. We really got to know each other, in our souls. But anyway, it was nice to see Nate, if too briefly. What a good guy. And so yeah, I saw a bunch of people that way who I just sort of nodded hello to or said a quick hi to, and then proceeded to like not see at all or not get really much of a chance to talk to. But at least I was able to say like, "Hey, Amy Walker, loved your collab with Jess Schulman in New York Times the other day." I mean, it's better than not like seeing them at all. You get it. All right, is this Get Out? I'm not gonna. Well, I just did a tournament puzzle, and the director of Get Out may or may not have been in that puzzle. He may or may not have done improv at the same theater I did. And but more to the point, I don't know if Get Out is the answer to that. Everybody else here does. What would a biologist study? Oh, I don't know. A tree. Um, I don't like the way that this thing goes back to the bottom. Like when you go too, like if you backspace too far, like it goes to the bottom. You get it. But that's not important. Let's focus on my inability to finish this puzzle. I want this to be popped in the oven for a bit. Okay, let's go warmed. I don't think heated is gonna, and I don't like an H here. This moss, I mean, this can't be MIS from the word here. Elegance is clearly right. I mean, so is Obi-Wan. Trust him, he's always right. But what is this? How is this? This is cassava root. I'm not seeing what is the problem. Oh, mascarpone. Okay, that's what it's called. All right, so this is, okay, key ingredient in tiramisu. So the quotes are, all right. Oh, okay, so we're elevating the CAR. Got it, okay. There we go. Okay, so that's why this didn't make sense. Be born again is reincarnate with these letters. Take a bow, Kareem. Very cool. We've seen this thing before, like where you bump up or down a row. You certainly had me fooled. I was looking for the CAR letters over here when in fact they were over here. Well done. All right, so metacarpal is hand bone. That's why meta didn't fit the bill. So that's the quotation marks were a bit of a tip off. Future, nice. Kareem, well done. Okay, well done. Now, web browser is a surfer. Thank God there's a clue we hadn't seen yet because I am grinding to a halt here. Life. Is this, should probably know that. Get low. Is this isn't the one where the person got low, 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 low. Is it? I think, wasn't that Usher? I mean, my fellow kids and I were being born in 2011. We don't know these things that you old people know. All right, bravo. Is it Olay after all? It is. Wow, my speaker's on. I just got a celebratory song. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur, etc. You guys can sing the rest in the chat. Great one. Well done. Kareem, enjoyed that. We got to get Kareem in here, by the way. What a good guy. I would love to get him into the mix. But for the time being, does anybody else want to try this like crazy interesting logic puzzle? It would be a super hard left turn, maybe even a cute one. But I got a kick out of this. Francis Heaney, I'm assuming this is a book from his book publisher. Are y'all going to run away screaming in terror if we do like a non-crossword? It is kind of like a Sudoku variant. I'm like intrigued at the idea of doing this on a stream. We've got so many smart people in here today. I mean, we always have smart people in here, but I mean, with the with the Chet Sellers rate, I mean, we've got like a slew of names I don't even recognize in the chat box. Oh man, some of them have followed me. Thank you, new followers. Please follow me, everyone. I mean, let's see. I'm getting it. I'm getting oh my God. Sid. Incredible. All right, before we move on, we must share with everybody what Sid looked like at the ACPT. Nesberg, too kind. All right, brace yourselves, everyone. Prepare to have your minds blown. This is unbelievable. This is our friend Sid. Yeah, I mean, do I even need to say more than that? I can't even put into words how amazing this is. So great. Oh, and note that somebody put sidsgrids.com. Like, I mean, is that like their signature? I don't even, incredible. Yes, so good. Big Willie D. It's all about the friends we made along the way, though, isn't it? All right. Yes, the absolute next level drip on this guy. I mean, I don't, if I zoom in, can I move this thing around? Yes, I can. All right. Let's, somebody, did somebody put Sid's Grids? Oh, sidsgrids.com by Ben Zimmer. Maybe if I zoom in more, we can see people's autographs. This is unbelievable. Oh, great. Oh, I can use the mouse. All right, I get it. So so Sid, feel free to explain in the chat. I mean, I don't even know who or what. Oh, is this a Sam Ozersky like hand-drawn spelling bee? Sid, that's like when Andy Warhol used to like grab, like a paper napkin or draw on like a paper tablecloth at a restaurant and draw something and hand it to the server and be like, this is now worth $1,200. I'm not paying you for this meal. Well, I mean, Sid, these pajamas, I mean, you get it. I mean, a hand-drawn Ozersky spelling bee, this might be the only one. Anyway, you get it. People were signing. I did some sort of a cryptogram. I mean, God, I don't even remember. This might even be it. Anyway, this is mine. Yes, yes. Sid, I don't even remember what I spelled out. I remember that I ended up with a Yonex tennis racket in this thing because it was like I had to make certain letters unique. Ian Livingood did a 1-by-1 crossword with the Sid, did he make you solve it downs only? So there was no across clue. Kiara put a massive Q on your inner thigh. That sounds dangerous and racy. Oh my God, there it is. This is crazy. So yeah, Sid not only was rocking this like amazing outfit, but he was giving everyone the chance to like do a personalized autograph. Sid, did anyone sign your hat? Oh, I've got like a pointer. I can like annotate. There's no need, but this is kind of fun. I've got disappearing ink on this thing to emphasize. Like, for example, look here, it's Sid's knee. Don't worry, it'll disappear. Getting the socks to match. Oh my God. Sid, did you buy the socks from the same place as the outfit, or was it just a complete, you get it? Anyway, this is probably, and what's with this? Did somebody draw this great seal? Kiara drew this. Kiara's a great artist, by the way. I saw some of, yeah, this is like, where's Troy Aikman or, I don't know who. I guess Bob Costas was more of a play-by-play guy. I don't even know what's going on here, Sid. We don't need to spend all day on Sid's outfit, much as I would love to. I mean, what is, is that, I forget what we've looked at. All right. Yeah, Sid, what is this? I mean, there are big like circles and big like shapes of a single color, which is easier to draw on, which were easier to draw on. But then, I mean, such a creative crowd, such a smart crowd. I mean, I'm like squinting at my screen, like leaning in and seeing all this stuff. Like we could say the hell with the puzzles. And I probably have about 45-ish minutes before I will feel comfortable leaving to my tennis match, you know, not knowing what traffic is like, blah, blah, blah. But man, we could spend so much more time on this thing. But anyway, Sid, hat tip to you. Incredible. So good. I mean, I had fun at the CrossFit tournament last year, and I don't recall anybody rocking like an incredible outfit like this. Well, actually, you know what? I didn't talk about this in the stream the other day. This was Sid emailing me about, yeah, Sid, go ahead, email me your puzzle. I'm happy to, you know, change gears. We could do that logic thing a different day, or it's probably time for both. I stop the share. Yeah, okay. So this was kind of fun. There's this guy named Jim Janista who every year wears like does some kind of crazy stunt where he's wearing like some like full on head to toe, you know, crosswear. I mean, he was the only one doing it, certainly back in Brooklyn. He stood out from the crowd. Like his outfit popped. He was I think he had like a day glow orange yellow, like a street crew member with like crosswords in there. It was like it was an eye-popping getup, which was fine. You know, one year he had like a toilet seat with like crosswords. I don't even know what was going on. Anyway, you know, I acknowledge his efforts. I'm not going to pretend I'm, you know, blown away by that as much as I am by Sid's handiwork. But I gotta say, if I'm not mistaken, this was Jim Janista's like son. There were some very clever outfits in the crowd. I particularly want to salute, I think it was like a younger Janista. Oh, crossword construction worker. Okay, so I missed the pun. Very good. So like a crossword constructor is what we call a crossword writer. Okay, that's legit. A grid maker. All right. That's above average. Jim, I got to give you your props. And I certainly love the way you get into the spirit of the event. But the crossword outfit that I got a big kick out of was, for anyone who's seen Little Shop of Horrors, the Audrey 2 is the plant in Little Shop of Horrors. So there was somebody walking around on the first day with like a potted plant, and the plant was labeled Audrey Clue. Like, so it was like a crossword version of the Audrey 2 from the movie. And it was like, you know, like it was like a carryable, moderate sized like flower pot, and the flower was, you know, like maybe the size of a softball or whatever, smaller than a volleyball. And the material the crossword was made out of, I think, was like crossword grid like. So that was the Audrey Clue. That was on Friday. And then on Saturday, the Audrey Clue got like noticeably larger. So much like in Little Shop of Horrors, where it starts out like in like a flower pot, I think in a flower shop, you know, that old Ellen Green, Rick Moranis vehicle where Steve Martin as the cruel dentist stole the show. So the second day, the Audrey Clue was larger, like, which was, you know, cute. It's like, oh, it's getting bigger. And then on Sunday, this guy was the Audrey Clue. Like, it's like the Audrey Clue was like, his head was like in the mouth of the plant. It was like, it was incredible. Like the effort, and that was really like, I mean, and over like a 3-day arc, that was A+. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, whoever did that. Yeah, Chet, you sat next to that guy. I mean, he was wearing like a space helmet made out of like a crossword, like a visually crossword grid like flower / plant, you know, as people do. You know, Nesberg, I actually might have a photo of like one of the iterations. Man, it's always so awkward when people ask me to like, you know, grab a photo. It's not quite so awkward when people ask me to like grab something from my email, even as our friend Sid just did. Sid, I mean, if you sent me a puzz, oh my God. Sid, do I need to read? Yeah, trail mix. Oh man, I thought this was like a MIDI. Is this thing very complicated? Wow. Okay, is this 2 separate pages? Trail mix contest variety puzzle. Sid, you've sent me a color one and a black and white one. These things kind of look the same. These things are not cryptic clues. Don't do this if I have 40 minutes. Okay, Sid, I tell you what, let's get you on here another night and we can have like a regular Sid Fest / Grid Fest. The logic puzzle that I was yammering about, I think is doable. I mean, especially with this much brain power. I mean, hell, the hard one could be doable. I started doing this hard one. Yeah, I've been working a lot. I was in the office yesterday and today at like 7 a.m. I really caught up to and past where I wanted to be work-wise from missing 4 days of the Cosford tournament. Then this morning I did a meaningful amount of more work, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give myself the like treat slash present of doing a crossword stream. I keep like threatening to not do, as many crosswords in the coming weeks, which is what I think everybody wants. The real threat is that I might keep the stream going, once or twice a week. And all right, Sid, I will download this thing and like put a pin in it. I will put it in my like puzzles to stream file. Okay, Sid, let me quickly read your text. Okay. All right, Sid, we'll get you in here another night. There's a number of people we got to get in here another night. Christopher Adams, we got to get him back in here. I am on a little distribution list for the New York Newsday Saturday Stumper, which is their hard puzzle. They drop their hard one on Saturday. And Nesberg didn't really give you your plots, didn't give you your props. I'm reading you wrote the word pot, and I somehow put a new letter in there. Yes. All right, Nesberg. Glazing a pot. Are you glazing a pot for the Audrey clue? Are you glazing a pot for my poor peace lily that's trying to bounce back from its troubles? All right, so Francis Heaney, who I forget what book publisher he works at. He is like a professional puzzle editor and a really good one. I mean, also an incredible puzzle maker. I think it was for AVCX. He made like a Christmas themed puzzle with candy canes in it. I don't remember anything except that it had candy canes. That thing was absolutely incredible. I forget what was so good about it, but it was just amazing. Anyway, if you see at the upper left here, I can annotate. Actually, I need to annotate for us to solve this together. This puzzle is called Murdoku. It is a murder-themed Sudoku, which is crazy but true. Get to my favorite thing, the disappearing ink. Look, Murdoku, a walk in the park. Difficulty, easy. Well, I agree with that. This thing sort of was like an easy Sudoku, like it sort of proceeded in a logical fashion. Here, let's get the ground rules down. There are 9 people that we have to place into this grid, which you will note is 9 by 9. And you will also note, and by the way, note the like sweet artwork on this thing, by the way. This is like great looking stuff here. So props to whoever made this, and their name is like in the corner. Really a fan of the like very, very stylish work here. But all right, puzzle wise, it's a 9 by 9 grid that amounts to a Sudoku in the sense that you need exactly one person in each row and exactly one person in each column. But it differs from a Sudoku or the Star Battle or Two Not Touch puzzle that we run actually above my cryptogram in the newspaper. In those puzzles, see these like randomly shaped fields. In the Star Battle, which by the way, after like 5 years of streaming, I don't think we've ever done on here, and we certainly could. I mean, it could be like, these logic puzzles are kind of good for like group conversation. I've seen other people stream them. For whatever reason, it's never occurred to me to stream those things. We could. But as for the Murdoku, please note that the people have names starting with A, B, C, etc. Except we don't have an I, we have a V for Vince, which is like the victim, because, trigger warning, a murder has happened. And poor Vince here is the victim. So our job is to, Vince, you're canceled. All right, what we got to do is figure out who killed this guy. And using all the clues, we can do that. There is, of course, a unique solution. We've got to place A through H in there and then figure out what good old Vince is. There's a few things we need to know. Let's go up here. If the text is too small, maybe I need to enlarge these things. All right, let's do. All right, it's awkward here because I have to like bounce between preview, zoom. All right, I don't need the pen. All right, so as we can see in number 1, Vince was murdered. Can you find out who did it? Read each suspect's clue and find their exact location on the crime scene. The killer was alone with the victim in the same area. I mean, every piece of information here is like vitally important. So you get it. The killer and the victim were the only two in their area. It's bounded by these heavy lines. Now, this is an important skill. Well, okay, two is, all right, okay, so the hard one has more like constraints, but like I gotta go back to the mindset of the easy one. All right, one person per row and column, I just mentioned that. So as you can see, much like in a star battle puzzle in number two, as soon as you place someone like A, then there's nobody like in that row or column other than A. Now, the word beside has a specific meaning that we have to keep in mind. To be beside something means to be to the left, right, above, or below it in the same area. So diagonally is not beside. And across a border line, or what some people call a border, is not beside. So here, note the circle or the dot. The people are beside the dot because they are next to it in the same area, but the X is not beside that person. The X's are not beside the dot because this one's diagonal and this one is across a border. You feel me? I think you do. Okay, with that said, oh, and let's talk about what else is in this grid. There are all the different colors and the different items are different things. And so this is called a walk in the park. So everything here in the park is, we've got a park-like setting. So the path is the yellow squares, like a sidewalk. These chairs are in the park. There are white chairs, what you want in your park. And then there are boats in this lake. There's a boat rental next to the lake. And then these things that cannot be occupied are like the fixtures and plants in the park. The bonsai trees, they're all down here. Note that like each, or the bonsai species is alone down here. In the other puzzle, there are a lot more like unique items. Anyway, there's a table in the bathroom and I guess nowhere else. There are flowers here and here. There's going to be somebody who's next to those flowers, shockingly. Lily pads are in this lake. I think it's possible to like be in the lake and not in a boat. I forget whether that's important or not. And then of course there are trees in this park kind of randomly scattered around. With that said, now that we understand the rules, is everybody with me? Is anybody still awake? I thought this was really fun, and I know you guys will too. And there's so much like brain power here. I don't think it's going to take us super long. I wanted to start it like well before the top of the hour, because in case it takes us a while, or in case I start talking about Sid's outfit, or like there are so many anecdotes yet untold from the CrossFit tournament. I'm quickly forgetting them, but isn't that the nature of a 3-day minimal sleep tornado? Okay, let's read through these people. I'll blow them up a little bit in case reading them helps. Okay, we've got A through H and then the murder victim. Alba was beside an empty boat. Blair was in the bottom row. Cashin was sitting in a chair. Daphne was beside some flowers. Elias was in the restroom. Fina was on a path. Gordon was in the bonsai exhibit. Hannah was on a boat. And finally, Vince, the victim, was alone with the murderer. Okay, has everyone solved it? I have. Well, I have because I like took the time needed yesterday. If anybody has any thoughts on where to start, just like in a Sudoku or just like in a star battle puzzle, start with the most constrained items and go from there. Like that might be a row that has nearly nothing in it, or a row, or like a person who has a more constrained, like for example, the lady Daphne who's beside some flowers. I mean, here, I guess. Well, I gotta annotate. There's like a pointer in here. I can always disappear the stuff I draw. Let's see if this highlighter works. Like, whoops, not below, but like the person next to the flowers could be here, 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 and here. So, that's not very constrained. The guy in the restroom is very or relatively constrained because that guy is either sitting in a chair or he's in one of these things, but he can't be on the table. Likewise, somebody was said to be in a chair. Cash-in, well, okay, so there's actually a bunch of chairs. So this guy's not super constrained. Does anybody have any thoughts on which person we should start with? Or hint, two people that we might use to like play off each other to get some like info that we can use. The goal here, of course, is to start placing these people, because once you've got people going into the grid, you've got entire rows and columns that you can knock out, and then it gets a lot easier. So, like for example, Hannah was on a boat, so she's got to be here, here, or here. The problem is there's a boat down here, so you can't say for sure that that entire rest of that row is blocked up. I'm going to give you all a chance to think about it for a minute. I'll get you started if nobody pipes up. I get that we mostly do crosswords here. Logic puzzles are a bit of a departure. And this thing is, conversationally, like at the same pace while we're all talking is a weird way to solve this. I just thought this was so good. And let's throw a link into the chat. Murdoku, they definitely found a fun way to like expand on the Sudoku concept. All right, I'm going to get you guys started. Let's go back to Zoom. Annotate is on. Okay, we've got this person who's in the bottom row. So nobody else is in the bottom row. What else do we know? What else can we use with the bottom row filled? Exactly, Strawberry. That does limit Daphne's position. Daphne is next to the flowers. So Daphne now cannot be here, which is a good start. The problem is Daphne could still be there, there, or there. You are on the right track in terms of Blair constraining somebody, but there is somebody else that Blair constrains so hard that we actually can figure out where they are. Specifically, somebody who is in an area and can now be said to be exactly, Strawberry, exactly. It's tricky. Actually, there's an eraser on this thing. Okay, so I'm going to go back. You know what? The highlighter is great and all. However, I want to use the pen to draw. Okay, exactly. Strawberry, you got it. So if Daphne is in this row and Gordon is in the bonsai, then my man G Love and Special Sauce is right here. And if Gordon is there, what else do we know? Well, I'll give you a hint. He is alone in his row and column. So try to make these things look halfway non-hideous. All right, so nobody's in this chair. Whoever was in a chair is losing their options. Wait, they're about to lose a lot of options. They're not there, 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 or there. What do we know now? While you puzzle over that, Strawberry, you're doing it exactly. Yep, exactly. Strawberry, my old school ride or die puzzle pal. Strawberry, you're one of the OGs. One of my first like Twitch buds, if I remember right, or one of my frequent ones. All right, so exactly. So cash in is in a chair. Now I solved this thing yesterday. However, I'm not going to pretend I know like the whole answer. I don't even remember who the killer was, quite honestly. All right, so now this guy is throwing all kinds of useful X's in here. Like, for example, we've cut the boat rental in half. And like that. And if I'm missing any like X's that I need or whatever, feel free to shout them out. Okay, what do we know now? Well, I am looking at this thing and I'm seeing another person that we can place. I don't know if there's one or more than one, but see in this puzzle and the other puzzle, there were all these indications of like which person is in which area. This puzzle doesn't have that so much, but there's one person I can see exactly a big Willie D. Exactly. Elias is in the back. Oops, gotta get to the pen. Elias is in the bathroom. And I mean, sometimes you have no choice but to use a park bathroom. Elias, I feel you, my brother. Okay, so there's nobody else in his row or column. Do that and that and do this. Although a big Willie D, you know a thing or two about New York. What's with that bathroom in Bryant Park, like next to the New York Public Library? It's like this beautiful, like, edifice. Is that like a beloved public bathroom or at least like a famous one? Anyway, all right, so we've got C done with. I was earlier drawing X's on them, but my like mouse skills are so bad. So we're done with placing C and E and G. We don't know about Blair. We know she's in the bottom row. She's next to one of these bonsai trees. But what else? What else do we know? Back to the pen. Let's go back to it's the only good public bathroom in the city. All right. So, okay, well, this lady's beside an empty boat. We don't know. Any of them could be empty at this time. We've talked about Blair. Fina is on a path. We are narrowing down Fina's possibilities real quickly because only in columns 2 or 7 can she be. Hannah was in a boat. Well, she's getting pretty constrained. She can only be in this boat or in that boat. And then Vince, the victim. Well, it looks as though it's all about Daphne right now. Strawberry, is that what you're thinking of? We can like work two of these people off each other. Exactly. All right, Daphne is beside some flowers. So she can be only at this point. We've knocked out her possible spots, only there or there. But what do we know about the bottom row? We have got Blair. Is it Blair from LA Law? Or is it Blair from the Facts of Life? Well, from that illustration, I guess it's neither. Okay, so we got Blair down here. And I think you can see how we're going to circle back to good old Daphne. And we've got some like boat intel going here as well. Exactly. The regions are different and she wouldn't be beside flowers. I like that. And well, speaking of beside the flowers, good old Daphne, good old Daphne is now located. It's got to be here, right? Isn't that the deal with Daphne? Because she can't be anywhere else. The flowers are all like covered over. So let's put her here. I mean, so this one's pretty straightforward, as you can see. And when you got a Strawberry Styles in the chat box, never fear. I mean, Strawberry is like a crossword smarty, but also leading the way here. I think the rest of the chat is kind of like sitting back and watching Strawberry crush this puzzle. All right, so what more do we know? Daphne, exit stage left, never to be talked about again. Unless you're the killer, which may be, I honestly can't remember. All right, so now, Alba is beside an empty boat. We don't know if this boat is empty or not right here. But we definitely, wait, have we made a mistake? Fina is on the path. And wait, I'm confused. Did we screw something up? The logic with B was, did we misplace B? That could be, I'm confused. Where did we get B being there? B might not be there. And I'm beginning to wonder. I mean, we got to open up the path. Yeah, that's right. B can't be there. Let's get the eraser going. All right, let's get, okay, G is in fact there. So this square is good. D, well, if we base D off of B, then maybe we need to erase D as well. Well, this is what happens when I call a puzzle easy. I prove that it's easy for other people, but not myself. All right, so E, I think we know that E is good, but what happened before I started screwing up? All right, I don't remember. D is, D is still okay. In that case, I'm going to get this stuff out of here. Oh, that actually is right because D is good. Then, wait a second. Oh, these are good because of E. Everybody here but me is tapping their toes as I'm getting confused. Take my word for it, I actually did solve this thing pretty readily. Let's get good old Blair down here, but where she belongs, on the left. Like, specifically right there. Row 9, column 5, exactly. That is where Blair goes. As for Tootie, Natalie, and Joe, I don't know. Let's do this. All right, Blair, Warner. Wait a minute. Oh no, Jonathan Rollins. That'd be crazy if like TV's two biggest Blairs had the same last name. All right, so if Blair's there, can X these out. Something is, okay, so we accidentally covered the whole path. But wait, if D's here, then some of these, all right, column 7 has got some props. Let's clean that up and then we'll finish this thing. All right, the bottom 3 are good because of D, G, and B. This, and this, and this, and this are yet to be determined. All right, if, well, look, E, D, G, B, E, are we drawing like a treble clef? Okay, so B is where B needs to be. All right, the lady next to the flowers is correctly right here. Can you guys see the pointer when I move it around? You can, as I squint at my old cell phone. Okay, what else do we know? Well, we know that somebody's on the path, specifically Fina, this person, F. And there's only one path square left, right there. So X is in this row, like this and like that, y'all. It is starting to feel as though the murder victim can only be in one of a few places, but we're not quite done. Because even though we just placed F, I'm glad that Twitch has memorialized my screw up, by the way. I don't know how I quite screwed that up, but I did. All right, I think it's time to focus on the lake. All right, this lady is on a boat, but it could be either of those boats. This lady is beside, oops, this lady is beside an empty boat, which at this point kind of could be any of them. And then Blair, we already took care of. So unless I still have a mistake in there, in which case I'm going to shake my head sadly and move along. Okay, that's why we're missing some X's. Okay, so the lady who has to be in a boat can't be in this boat because F has X's. And what's more, the other boat is full too. So this lady, so this H lady, that's where I screwed up. H is on this boat, right here. Just about done because the rest of this pond is getting filled in. So what else do we know? Somebody's next to a boat, A, beside an empty boat. There's only one more place that somebody can be beside an empty boat. That is right. You see where I'm going with this. That's right here. I'll just draw an X like this to save valuable seconds. And that puts our victim right there. Daphne, how dare you? Daphne, you're going to prison, girlfriend. All right, so that's it. That's a murder Sudoku. And the victim also, like, I mean, obviously, when you get to the end, you've got the only spot left with the rows and the columns. I thought that was kind of fun. Anybody? Damn. Stopping the smell of the roses, exactly. I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was the first time we've ever done a Sudoku type puzzle on here. I'm really not great at those things, as I think we've all just seen, but nice one. Wait, let's give credit where it's due. Francis Heaney is the one who gave me this puzzle. However, puzzle and concept by Manuel Garand and art by Manuel and Valentina Bezdushna. Excellent. Excellent work. I like that. Okay, that took a while. Well, not a long while. It took a moderate while. Back real quick to my list of crosswords. All right, we've got I've got, oh, maybe 15, 20 more minutes. We did Kareem Ayas's New Yorker. Brendan Quigley actually dropped a Thursday puzzle on the day of the tournament. That we might have done that one if that was the one with like the speed solvers in it. Carolyn Davies Lynch, who I nodded hello to at the tournament, never really talked to, I don't believe. We did Mark Deal. That was my opening face plant. Let's get Carolyn Davies Lynch's Friday New York Times on here. This was April 3rd. This was like the Friday before the crossword tournament. And Brian Callahan, I don't know Brian's name. Let's screen share this. How long have we been going here? An hour 22. Wow. What's that like, Chet Sellers, to do a stream at, well, actually, Chet did a long one today. I usually do longer streams, but I'm happy that I found a window to knock one out here this morning, like between work and tennis. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday. Those of you who went to the tournament, any deep thoughts? Anybody who didn't go to the tournament, did you solve it from home? Did you watch the live stream? If you didn't do either of those things, are you going to buy the tournament puzzles and maybe solve at home? Nora Sharp, who was in the chat box here, has a tournament later this year. Oh, Nora is still here. Nora, I'll save you the trouble. If you don't have time to write Midwest. Nora, why were you so quiet during the logic puzzle? Did you instantly look at it and solve it and then let the rest of us do it? MidwestGridFest.com is Nora's appropriately 15 letter, not counting the end, URL for the awesome Midwest crossword tournament, or the MWXWT. Man, it's like doing a logic puzzle, figuring out how to type that. Somebody was talking about the Nora, about your puzzle up top. Was somebody? I forget. It's hard to keep up with the chat. Anyway, somebody saying they're coming in to Chicago. Well, a lot of people will. We had all kinds of like, well, New Yorkers and other places, people coming in from like people crossing state lines. Yeah, Nora, as I've mentioned, I think I might be out of town, unfortunately, during tournament this year, but if I'm here, I will certainly attend. I've been to the first two, they've been super fun. I'm going to block the chat for a hot minute. I want to see if I can redeem myself a little bit. I actually screwed up that so-called easy logic puzzle. That was not a great look. Nora, by all means. And Nora, I will happily give you some more material for, like if you want a rejected New York Times cryptogram or two, for example, or just a miscellaneous one, let me know. All right, I'm blocking the chat. I'm going to see, should I set a goal for this? I mean, it took me 6 minutes or something to do a Tuesday when we started this. That was not a great look. And then I made a mistake in that logic puzzle. And then it took me a while to figure out like the hover cars. You know what? I'm not going to set a numerical goal. I'm just going to hope that Carolyn and Brian treat me with the respect that a tournament judge deserves. All right, here we go. I will see you on the other side of this beast. Wrong author. What are you going to do? Oh, Nora Sharp. Ah, I just wasted valuable seconds. Let's try this. What am I not seeing? Oh, I was thinking for like a genre. Got it. Andre Previn, Mia Farrow's ex-husband. Shut up, it's easier. Yeah, gotta remember that's an error. My trademark. Why not seen? Oh, it's the. I was thinking it was the rest of us. This isn't. Is that a Hazel? Yes. Bag it. 2 words. Got it. N-O-T. That. We saw that word. Something here might be wrong. Ah, typos. My brand. With donut and ova, I'm beginning to think so. Presumably. Back to that. Yeah, biome. Baby on board, y'all. Well, any hope of finishing in 5 minutes is, oh, past tense, y'all. Mochi ball. What am I missing? Yeah. Oh, AMFM, nice. This is AM, you spell AMFM with 2 M's, so naive. All right, that was a little bit of a low-key, better result. Rather go under 5 on, let's face it, an easy Friday, but what are you gonna do? Complain, apparently. No, great puzzle, Carolyn Davies Lynch. Enjoyed nodding at you at the crossword tournament. Diamondback 0. Look at those incredible. Yeah, love that. Let's see, what did I miss in the chat? Great if you got any line. Of course, Nora, of course. I mean, did I send you the one about the, oh, I don't know, tourist attraction in a city you're familiar with? I don't want to ruin it because you know that every crossword, every Chicago crossword tournament attendee, slavishly watches the stream. Yeah, I've got my share. I try to bounce around the country and or world and write about different countries and like cities, towns, whatever. I think Monaco, particularly like per square foot, has disproportionately gotten its like, more than its share. I guess I should think about New Yorky stuff, but yeah, we've had all kinds of geographic ones. Certainly Midwest, or you know what I can also, well, if I, trying to talk too much about the process. Anyway, Nora, yes, I can easily get you some material for the tournament, no problem. Okay, Chet Sellers, thank you for the raid. It's 12:54. And rather than put like crazy pressure on myself to get to my tennis like barely in time, I think I'm going to allow a bit of a cushion. This was a good one today. Thank you for indulging me. I just thought Francis's murder Sudoku was kind of a cute thing. So thanks for letting me knock that thing out here. Strawberry, I think it's fair to say that you solved it, but I was glad to be your stenographer. Whose puzzles did we solve today? I mean, first and foremost, I think the thank you goes to Chet Sellers for like depositing all these awesome people. Please consider following me on Twitch and coming back. I may not be as funny as Twitch or as good at crosswords as Twitch, but we have fun. We do a lot of crosswords here. Sometimes we do down clues only. Sometimes we bring in guests. We'll do Sid's puzzle soon. We'll do Ben Zimmer's Saturday Stumper soon. I never finished that thought. Ben and I are on a distribution list for the Saturday Stumper, and somebody replied all saying like, "Great job, Ben." And I don't think they were talking to me. I think they were talking to Ben Zimmer because he writes that puzzle sometimes. Carolyn Davies Lynch and Brian Callahan, good one. You two, Kareem Ayas, that Monday New Yorker, very good. Who else did we do? We did Mark Deal's Tuesday. Mark, your Tuesday took me longer than Carolyn's Friday. That was weird. You've bent the space-time continuum. And Francis Heaney and those people whose names I just mentioned, thank you all for the logic puzzle. That was a good time. Okay, what have we learned? Nothing. What have we done? Puzzles. When are we doing them next? I hope to stream one evening this week. Not sure when we're playing Connections League. I've got a busy week ahead. To do it back-to-back days would be weird, but tomorrow actually is like a free-ish day for me. Maybe playing Connections League Tuesday. If that happens, that'd be a good night to stream. Work is getting very busy. Early morning, probably not happening. Thursday night, my beautiful niece's bat mitzvah is this weekend, probably tied up Saturday, Sunday, even Friday night. Tuesday night looks like, I mean, I know no one cares. If you follow me on Twitch, you'll get a notification. Tuesday night is tentatively my best night this week, but we'll see. Thank you, Chet. Thank you. I am guardedly optimistic on the tennis, but we'll see. May I say, if you're considering playing USTA tennis, I don't know about singles, but I have found mixed doubles to be a better way to get a good match, or a good match more often. Anyway, I know I'll see you all there. Chet, you've shown great leadership today. You can be the chair umpire. Nora, Diamondback, Strawberry, Big Willie D, one or two of you can keep score, announce. We need some ball kids. You guys can decide amongst yourselves. Thank you for joining me. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, great rest of the weekend. I enjoyed this one, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Have a good one, everybody.